Enola, Pennsylvania, for no reason other than we feel like it. Right now, we're at the other end of Enola, where the engine servicing facility is. For those of you unaware, Enola Yard is an ex-Pennsylvania Railroad yard, which technically was the first intermodal yard ever. It's one of Venice's main servicing facilities for diesels, and their biggest yard in Pennsylvania, besides Altoona. Boring, 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 and oh my gosh, that's a high hood. It's nice to still see some thoroughbred high hoods kicking around. Then we drove by the main section of the engine facility with a lot of engines, none of them happening to be special. Something slightly special, though, was a Reading and Northern hopper, followed by a family line system. While we were leaving the yard, we saw a train running around, so we went to see if we could see the power. We never ended up seeing the power, but we caught the back of the train pulling out of the yard to go back and couple to the rest of its cars. Then I looked back to the yard and saw the conductor of a local flipping a switch so it could pull forward. Another SD40E was running around the yard getting ready to couple to the engine next to it. Once the engines had passed, I looked up to see that the intermodal sitting next to it had started pulling forward. reversing, the intermodal sitting next to it started doing the same, leading to this nice race. We decided to head to Hummelstown to see if we could find that S26X with a UP. On our way to Hummelstown, we passed through Lemoyne, and there, sitting in an unsuspecting park, was a random Pennsylvania Railroad caboose. While driving past Rutherford, we saw a 26X just sitting there, right next to the road. So we turned around, drove all the way back, just for it to have left already. After that defeat, we headed to Hummelstown, where we saw Middletown and Hummelstown mow equipment, and soon after getting there, we heard horns of 26X. Yes, that's right, we somehow beat 26X from Rutherford after it left. I don't know either. After that, we knew nothing else was in the area, so we decided to head home. However, one of the CSX detour trains, M409, happened that day to have CSX 1776. And it just so happened that once we had some free time, M409 cleared Phoenixville, PA. With its beautiful RS-5T being heard in the distance, we knew it wouldn't be long until M409 came flying through. Pause. You could see by the frantic placement of my camera that I was not prepared for this train when it came. So once I had rushed to get my main camera down, my phone, I picked up my tablet that I normally use for secondary panning shots, and it was turned off. So as M409 came coming closer, I desperately logged into my tablet, and eventually it came on. Thankfully it didn't affect the main shot, but you know, it's my secondary camera, so I still like it. no, wait. There's more story to tell. The way M409 works is that it goes down all the way to Cherry Run, Virginia, turns around, and goes the other way with the rear DPU becoming the lead and vice versa. However, 3003 decided it wants to blow up. Yeah, its air compressor blew up. So they ended up having to throw CSX 7000 on. Fun times. K now bye.